Imagine this. You call after dropping your student at college, and your student admits to you that they haven't turned anything in 2 weeks. They're not really responding to your text messages, but you finally got them on the phone, and you can feel it in your gut that something's wrong. And when you finally get them to let you check their grades or get that email from them, it's worse than you thought. If this semester feels like a slow motion crash, you're not alone. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm a behavior analyst and executive functioning coach, and I've worked with families who have the exact same gut wrenching moment and the realization that their smart, capable kid is failing in college and they don't know what to do next. So this video is for you. This video is for the parents of students who feel like they're in academic freefall when grades, routines, and communication all start unraveling fast. I'll walk you through what freefall actually looks like and why it happens, especially with ADHD or executive functioning challenges, what not to do, even though it might be your first instinct, a better way to approach your student and this whole situation, and how to reset with support that works, even if this semester didn't go as planned. Now, let's start by breaking down what a free fall looks like behind the scenes. Most parents don't see the spiral starting until it's well underway. It often begins with a couple of missed deadlines, a confusing assignment that doesn't get started, a rough exam, and then silence and shutdown. Here's what I see most often in coaching. The student knows that they're behind. They feel completely overwhelmed, and instead of reaching out for help, they avoid it because facing it feels like admitting failure. The avoidance grows and grows and grows, and they stop checking their email, they avoid class, they stop responding to professors or family, and they fall further and further behind. And then comes the complete shutdown where there's low energy, there's high anxiety, there's very little sleep, lots of screen time, and zero academic action. From the outside, you might see this. I'm fine with no evidence of progress, closed doors, missed calls and dodged text messages, or just dodged questions about how the semester is going. A student who can seem oddly calm or totally withdrawn, and here's the really important part. This is not about laziness, dishonesty, or any of those things. This is an executive functioning breakdown. It's a predictable response to overwhelm, especially in an ADHD or an autistic student, and it's fueled by a lack of structure and feedback in the college environment. When there's no one checking their planner, there's no clear late work policy or emotional connection to the course, the student's ability to self-start may collapse. Their shame kicks in, their motivation disappears, and their problem solving shuts completely down. And that's when the free fall begins. And it often ends in academic probation, withdrawal, or simply them dropping off the radar. This is the part where you, the parent, get notice that something's off. Either you know it in your gut, or it may be even later after the semester is over and you get that dreaded letter about academic suspension or probation, or the grade letter, or the letter about losing financial aid. So you dig in and try to figure out what was wrong, and suddenly your brain goes into crisis mode. So let's talk about the 3 most common parent responses and how they can unintentionally make things worse. Number 1, panic mode. This is where you're just trying to fix it. You're doing everything you can. You're showing up at campus, you're trying to help them write papers if they tell you in the moment, or you text them reminders multiple times a day. You take on that stress. You call them out. What are you doing? How did this happen? This is all a nervous system response. And so you're trying to regain control of something that feels like it's slipping away. But for the student who's already overwhelmed and ashamed, this can completely feel like an attack. Their shutdown is going to deepen. They're going to become even more avoidant, and it's going to draw a bigger wedge between the two of you. And now you, as the parent who's just there to help them, they're also avoiding. Reaction 2 that sometimes happens, the freeze or that withdrawal response. This happens when panic fails and you swing the other way. Well, they're technically an adult. They need to figure it out. It's their tuition now. I can't care more than they do. This reaction is also understandable. You're exhausted. You're disappointed. You're maybe even feeling a little bit rejected. But total withdrawal can push your student further into isolation. They may interpret your silence as disapproval or abandonment, and even if that's not your intent. And without clear expectations or structured support, they often don't recover because they don't know how to. Reaction three that I often see: internalizing that shame. This one lives in the quiet moments. Maybe I shouldn't have helped so much in high school. Did I coddle them too much? Was it a mistake to send them to college? Is this the wrong college for them? You start blaming yourself. You may pull back from friends. You feel like you failed. And if somebody asks you how your child's doing, that's the worst feeling ever. I want to say this clearly. You didn't fail. You didn't miss some magic fix. Your student is in a situation that their brain wasn't equipped for, and now they just need support that matches that challenge. So, let's talk about how to give that support without enabling them, without controlling, and without disengaging. Here's where we take a deep breath, feel better, and we start building something better. If your student is in a free fall, there is a path forward, but it also starts with acknowledging that your role as the parent needs a little bit of adjustment. Number one, we're going to shift our language. You need to stop leading with panic and start leading with connection. So instead of saying, "Why didn't you tell me you were failing?" try, "It looked like this semester didn't go how you had hoped. I want to help you figure out what comes next." This doesn't mean you excuse everything, but it does mean that you are calm so that you can be supportive. Connection matters. Step two, we're going to assess what's salvageable. Ask questions like, are there any classes that are still passable? Can we recover this credit, or are we looking at a full reset? Your student may need to contact the school's academic advising office or student support center. And if there's a diagnosed disability involved, they may want to check in with disability services because they can sometimes facilitate extensions and completes or reduce course loads. But don't do this for your student. Do it with them or guide them to do it themselves, but they really need to take the lead here. Expect colleges to force that. Colleges don't want to talk to parents. They want to talk to the student. Actually, they can't talk to parents legally. Normalize the reset, step three. This semester may be a loss, and while that's hard, it's also not the end of the world. Talk with your student about what worked in high school that's missing now, what kinds of structures, reminders, or systems were kind of invisible then, but were absolutely essential. And instead of punishing or lecturing, ask, what would need to change for next semester to go better? What kind of support do you think would actually help? You may be shocked at how honest they are once the pressure lifts. In this stage, if your student responds something like, "Nothing, I'll just go back and try harder," I would really resist that. And I would insist that there be some structured plan and some accountability on how we're going to do that differently. So if we go back to saying, "Oh, it's just going to be different," but we repeat all of the same things and we don't actually make changes of support systems or having those things in place, then it's very unlikely that change is going to occur. And we're actually just setting them up for failure again, which is not what anybody wants. Part four, consider enlisting a professional. So a college ADHD coach may be exactly what you need, but this is also the reason why I created the "Well, that didn't go as planned" workshop. It's just for parents who realize that their student is failing. They're exhausted from trying to coach their student themselves, and they want a better plan and don't want to shame, push, or hover. And so in this training, I'm going to walk you through why your student might be stuck, how to rebuild that relationship with them around support and not surveillance, and what kinds of executive functioning help would actually work in college settings. We'll prep you for all these conversations that need to come with your student. You'll also learn how to talk about support in a way that doesn't cause defensiveness and what guardrails you could put in place to assure that things are going a little bit differently. Because let's be honest, college is expensive and you don't want them just wasting tens of thousands of dollars not being engaged or not trying. So we'll also cover how to set expectations without falling into old patterns. It's just $47 for 3 one-hour sessions, and it's less than the cost of probably a textbook. So it's very useful to parents in this situation. So if your student is in free fall, emotionally or academically, or both, this is your moment to pause, regroup, and get that support that actually makes a difference. I would hope you would join us for the "Well, that didn't go as planned" workshop. I'm going to post the wait list in the description, and we'll be doing it in the middle of May after the college semester concludes. I would love it if you would like and subscribe and watch our videos about executive functioning and all of the other things that impact our young college students and how they get success or struggle in college. Thanks.